Ukraine calls on world to immediately recognize PMC Wagner as terrorist organization.
Here's a summary of the article.
Ukraine is calling on the world to immediately recognize the Russian private military company Wagner as a terrorist organization for its criminal activities in our country and in West Africa. Ukraine, which suffers the most from the criminal activities committed by Wagner PMC, supports the position of African countries, which see the Wagnerites as a significant security threat. We must immediately recognize them as a terrorist organization, Kuleba said. In particular, Russian mercenaries are now helping the military junta in Burkina Faso. In particular, after the deployment of the Wagnerites in Mali, the country's military government pulled from the Sahel 5, a regional association of countries fighting jihadists with a joint force. Russian intervention is delaying the prospects of restoring constitutional rule in Mali and Burkina Faso, and destabilizing the whole of West Africa. The Wagnerites benefit from the weakening of African countries, because in conditions of chaos it is easier to loot the region's natural resources and then invest them in equipping and financing their units in Ukraine. This is the simple connection between Wagner's gold mining in Africa and hostilities on Ukrainian soil, conducted by this terrorist group, emphasized the top diplomat. He added that Ukraine calls for increased international pressure on the military governments of those countries in the region that provide their territory and resources for these Russian terrorists to use. As reported, on November 1, McHugh Jury and partners filed with the Supreme Court of London in the name of a group of Ukrainians a lawsuit against PMC Wagner and its founder Yevgeny Prigozhin, with the aim of proving that this military organization is operating on the territory of Ukraine using terrorist methods, and also for obtaining compensation for the people of Ukraine.
This post received a score of 7,500, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
The guys who send bloody hammers as some attempt to look badass are terrorists. I'm shocked.
Sounds like a mafia or cartel tactic to me.
The two have much in common. I dread thinking about the future Russia is creating for themselves.
Well, the Soviets made this and the Russian Empire made the Soviets.
And Americans spent billions, curbed NATO growth just so Yeltsin can beat the communists. And #X200B. Then Yeltsin decided to choose Putin as his successor.
Did Yeltsin voluntarily choose Putin as his successor or was he threatened to hand over? Nobody knows. Once he handed over he became quiet. The answer seems obvious because Putin had the KGBs behind him to restore Russian pride.
Does this even count? Terrorists want to achieve political goals. Wagner just wants to get paid.
As a PMC, if they're paid to commit violent acts and support a political group, that is terrorism. So yes, terrorists don't have to personally believe in the cause, just have to be organized with the group and contribute to causing terrorist acts.
How is this different from Blackwater or whatever they're calling themselves now?
Just call them neo-Nazis. That is what they are. Hell, look up its leader Dmitry Utkin, the guy tattooed the SS Thunderbolt and other Nazi symbols on his body.
I don't understand why PMCs are legal in the first place, being non-state actors that do war. Or are they just considered as an extension of the state that hired them? Edit, given that legal and illegal is mostly academic when it comes to war.
PMCs are outlawed in Russia. Wagner has a base of operations in Moscow, and their owner is Putin's right-hand man. They recruit in Russian state prisons. Wagner is a PMC. Wagner is not registered as a PMC in any nation. Its HQ is a joint base with the GRU, and they receive material support from the Russian military with which Wagner is closely integrated for intelligence, logistics, etc. Wagner is an irregular Russian military force masquerading as a PMC for legal cover in a nation where PMCs are illegal.
What they are or are not registered as is irrelevant to what they actually are.
And what there is a regular government-controlled military pretending to be a PMC.
Exactly. How else can they have their own tanks, fighter aircraft, helicopters, guided missiles, etc.? It's just a stupid workaround which everybody knows is total bullshit. Russia knows it's a lie. We know it's a lie. They know that we know. But the game is played nonetheless.
Just by merit of what they did before Ukraine, this should be the case.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.